This video is part of a series in which I do a close reading analysis of a specific chapter, or maybe sometimes a set of chapters, but I want to try to keep the scope pretty small as I'm rereading through Berserk, because I want to avoid trying to make a really general, broad analysis of the whole series, which is something I might do after I'm finished rereading it, but I really want to zoom in and look at Berserk piece by piece. If you haven't seen my last video, I'm going to talk about some concepts I developed about the morality of Guts and Puck. You can check that out to get all the details. But basically what I said was Guts epitomizes the Nietzschean Übermensch, which is like a classical Greek hero like Odysseus. Might is right, in contrast to the Christian moral worldview wherein selflessness and altruism are the good. Puck exemplifies the Kantian ideal of the categorical imperative, since he acts out of duty, not necessarily out of some kind of innate goodness. I'm bringing these concepts up again because in chapter 2, I did see that they developed a little bit. In this chapter, Guts is leaving town and he encounters an old man and a young girl who are traveling in a horse-drawn carriage. They offer him a ride and he turns it down at first, but eventually he accepts, saying, "What do I care what happens to them?" This gives us a little hint, I think, that there is more going on to Guts than just the Nietzschean Übermensch, who values power over compassion. We see here that Guts actually does have compassion. He eventually decides to accept their offer for a ride, warning them that it could be dangerous. They believe in God, which is a clue that they are symbolic of Nietzsche's slave revolt morality. The slave revolt morality of Nietzsche is essentially when Christianity began, instead of strength and selfishness and self-preservation being the good qualities, suddenly you see the transition into selflessness and altruism and charity being the good qualities, which in the natural world, in the wild, are likely to get you killed. The girl is obviously caring about the comfort of Guts. She wants to do good for Guts, not because they feel a sense of duty, but because they see themselves as inherently good people. That makes them different from Puck, who is helping Guts because he felt a sense of duty to do so. Now, this is important because the charity and altruism and selflessness they display, which they think do good in the world, is actually what gets them killed. If they had ignored Guts, acting only in their self-interest, they wouldn't have died. In the words of Guts, they wouldn't have gotten caught up in somebody else's fight, like Small Fry. Although Guts says that he hates these kinds of people because they're weak, we do see this Nietzschean Übermensch exterior beginning to show cracks. After the girl's dead and she's lumbering towards him as a zombie to attack him, he can't raise his sword right away, and he ends up getting injured by her, even though it's a little undead girl, who poses no threat. After coming to his senses and finishing up the battle, Guts reverts back to his survival of the fittest morality, remarking how they deserved to die because they weren't strong enough to defend themselves. As the sun rises, Puck ends the chapter by saying that Guts had no choice. He can't afford to live in a society-centered moral worldview in the way that Puck does. He'll die if he does that. Guts' world is that of nature. It's the world of survival. It's the world of kill or be killed. And he has no choice. He must live in that state of mind because the threat from the wild world is so great. He doesn't have the protection that civilization brings. He's completely on his own. And that's why he preserves himself through selfishness and strength. This chapter shows us that we can expect a degree of development in the morality of Guts, or that he's already not quite as clean-cut of a Nietzschean Übermensch figure as we imagined in chapter 1. There's more to him that we don't know yet. There's more history, or there's at least room for growth. So that was my close reading of Berserk chapter 2. I don't know if I'm going to do a video like this for every single chapter while I read through Berserk, but while I'm going through it the second time, if I have some good idea like this, then I'll definitely make a video for a specific chapter or a set of chapters and try to keep my analysis really hyper-focused. Please don't forget to like this video and click subscribe.